for all of you to be here. I think everyone in here is a member, right? Is everybody a member? Yep. Yay! Great! Awesome! So, hey members, we've got a lot of really great stuff going on. A newsletter went out last night, so hopefully you saw that, which included our next event, which will be a virtual event on October 8th with Kay Cannon, who is the director of Pitch Perfect. So definitely come to that. It'll be a really good learning session for members. We also have a spooky horror screening series at the C Film Center on October 13th at 3 p.m. That's free for members. We are in the middle of a student film contest. So if you are a student and you want to get into our contest, we have $1,200 of prizes we're going to be awarding. So definitely enter your short films into that. We are also going to be launching our finishing funds in the next week or so, and that is if you have a work in progress, you can apply for the finishing funds. It does go to a panel that will vote on your project, and then we'll have a winner announced before the end of the year, and that's sponsored by Sue Capitelli. We also have some anonymous sponsors as well that will be awarding that money. I think it's at $1,250 so far for that, so that can go a long way for someone who's in post. And the only real there are some rules on it, but the requirement is that principal photography does have to be finished. So then you can present that work in progress. We're also launching our screenplay contest, and that will be launching in November. So keep an eye out on that. And then we're having a quick little event on the 26th of October at the Colorado Community College of Community College of Aurora. Hello. And that is going to be puzzling production, and it's going to be all about just different aspects of production and how to get into production and things that people need to do, and that's with Teresa Garcia. So definitely come to those events. It's a ton going on in October. We have even more in November. Big holiday party in December. And so if you come to like 2 events, the membership is paid for pretty much. So keep coming because it's really great. That's all I have. If you have questions about With & Co. or your events, see me later. And without further ado, I'm very grateful to have our guest speaker here today. Allison has been a member with us for quite some time now, and is kind of our go-to social media expert. The Birding by Ear, and Allison has been doing a ton of work with not only her own pages on social media, but with clients that she has, by helping them thrive and go viral and gain some knowledge for themselves, as well as make some money on social media. So that's what we're here to learn all about. So I'd like for us to give a round of applause to Allison Kondler. All you.
Hello everyone, thanks for coming out. I'm so excited. Well, as Alicia said, can you hear me okay?
Yes. Yeah.
Let's do this. I am a social media producer now. The pandemic was an interesting time for me because I'm a video producer. I didn't have very many things to do, and my son was on TikTok. He was 13 at the time. What is this TikTok? And I've always wanted my own bird show. I checked out TikTok, got addicted right away, and started my own bird show. I film birds, I've always filmed birds, and this is a great way to get them off of my hard drive and educate people about birds. I had no idea that I would be going viral and getting so many followers as I have. Yahoo! I know. And it's just been a really fun journey, and I hope that I can show you exactly what I do. My clicker. No clicker for you. So tonight I'm going to talk about a few topics that not necessarily are on here. I'm going to really focus on how to get your video to go looping, so people watch it all the way through. That, to me, is the number one goal, and I'm going to show you why. So who here is a content creator or on Facebook, TikTok? Right on. And how successful have you been so far?
0. Wait, what?
0, she says.
Well, you're in the right place.
So 0 meaning no engagement.
I mean, the only people who engage are the people who I already know. You know, like people who I follow, who follow me. Friends.
So friends who follow you.
Yeah.
I feel like my engagement and reach has just tanked in the last few weeks. And I went on the actual Instagram creators page as well, and everyone in the comments is saying the same thing. So I'm curious how to get it back up again. I feel like I've been trying everything.
So you've been watching, is it Instagram creators? Where they tell you...
Well, there's a guy who, is his name Adam, who's in charge. I don't know if he's in charge of
I think
Instagram.
he's the CEO.
Yeah, so I was like looking at his comments, and
Yeah.
everybody is complaining about reach and engagement, and they keep coming out with new things. But what people want is to reach their audience and like just show the content to everyone. So, anyways.
Yeah, well, the algorithm changes often.
Yeah.
And for all of these platforms, and especially on Reels, and I'm talking Facebook and Instagram. Reels right now is it is tanking for whatever reason as far as that engagement. 6 months ago, I gained 100,000 followers. And now it's trickling barely. So it really is algorithm dependent, but I'm going to show you some tricks on how to do some little tricks to hopefully get you further out into the world. Anybody else? So one thing that I preach all the time is register on every single social media outlet that comes out. Every app that comes out, even if you don't use it. And that is to protect your brand. It's sort of like the .com in the 90s. There's so many people who will grab your brand name and pretend they're you. So this is what it looks like on TikTok when you sign up. And when you have this user number, it shows the people that you're commenting on that you're not very serious, that you're just kind of a newcomer. So always have your username exactly the same on every platform if someone wants to find you here and there. So I'm going to talk about boosting engagement. There's so many tricks that you can do, but I'm going to focus on ones that really helped me and ones that aren't really talked about. So the standards that we think about when a video does well, or what a content creator wants. I want some likes. I did all of this work and I want some likes. Or comment, just come on. And this is part of the algorithm, to have likes, to have comments, for people to save your video. Make sure you have that setting on. I know it's kind of weird, but if you're doing any kind of how-tos, people want that on their phone, and then you're on their phone. And it also tells the algorithm that you're doing well if people are saving it and sharing. So I'm going to talk a little bit about the percentages. Who cares about likes, really? The only time that likes do well is when your video does well and it has 30,000 likes. Then the person who's watching it, who just found it, oh, there's 30,000 likes. I'll give it a like, I'll give it a like, and it will just continue because it builds up a hype. So there is value to that, but as far as the algorithm in the beginning, not so much. Comments are always good, and we're going to talk a lot about that coming up. But shares. You want people to share your video. It's pretty high up there. So have something that is shareable, that somebody really values, like give them some sort of value. Number one, 100% completion rate, and that's what I was talking about earlier, where if they watch it 90% of the time, 90% of your video, they watch all the way through, that's going to tell every single algorithm, TikTok, Reels, this is a good video, and I'm going to put it on the Explore page or the FYP, the For You page on TikTok. So I'm going to show you some tricks on how to get your video to go and loop. Who here is a video editor? Yoo-hoo. Welcome. I'm going to show you, first off, when you're editing, when you're filming for social media, you don't necessarily have to do vertical. With your phone, yes, if it's close to your face, do vertical. But if you're using a camera, which I use, I always film horizontal, and it does take up a lot of space, as far as hard drive space, but it is worth it, because if I want to put this on YouTube, I've got this cool option. I've got all this footage that's horizontal, and who knows what else is going to come out that's horizontal. It's future-proofing. So this is a way to, and it's just a very simple, you might know how to do this already, but I wanted to show you the system settings are 1080 by 1920, so you're just flipping, you're flipping, what is it, a 1080 on its head.
Doesn't that make the file like really big?
Doing it this way?
Okay.
Yes, this is 4K, by the way. 4K fits perfectly. Did you see that? I mean, it just fits right in there. You don't have to adjust the size. And actually in 4K, there's a little bit of extra. And if you film on a camera, be sure to give headroom, which is kind of a standard, but having that headroom will allow you to zoom in a little bit more in this vertical stance. Did everybody see that okay? It's just file size. And then you can move things. When things are moving in your screen, you can move it along with animation. Here is the subject safe area. If you're, this happens all the time. I watch cat videos. And there's this, this icon here, and the cat is sitting right there in the video, and it's behind the icon. So make sure your subject is not behind any of these icons, and also your text. And more, the top area is getting less and less area. So if you put text up there, there's going to be stuff on top of it. Like friends and for you page, and there's all these texts that are from the app itself. Okay. The beauty of social media, and especially this vertical social media, is you can edit and do these blunt edits and just be all over the place. Your head's here, your head's here, your head's here, and you're cutting out things. And it's completely acceptable. It doesn't have to be perfect, and it's very, very highly recommended that you don't breathe. As far as cut out those breaths, unless they make sense. Filler words are an instant swipe. So when you're starting out your video, get to the point. Like really, just get to the point and don't show that nervousness, because when you're on camera, for me, there's that nervousness. So cut out that nervousness and get to that point and edit that just right there. Edit that chunk. Then you'll more likely not get a swipe right then. If someone has a pause, instant swipe. Oh, and then with Reels in editing, I have to edit 2 files, one for TikTok and one for Reels. With Reels, you need a pause in the beginning. Isn't that nice? Because they cut it. So they cut a little bit of your intro, and if you're just starting your word right at not even 1 second, it'll be cut off. So I add extra pause, extra room in the beginning of an edit. For Reels, for right now. And I told them about it. Nothing's changed, and that was 7 months ago. Now with all you video producers, you know everything about B-roll. But if you're out there with your phone and you're a talking head, that's awesome, but show your area. just to have something to interact with while you're editing. I know it's a pain, especially if you're editing on the phone itself, but it will help people not swipe. It will show something different, because talking heads are everywhere. So this is one thing that I've done since the very beginning, is creating my own title in Illustrator. And this is what it is. It's just this square title. And that's sort of my brand now. It's in the intro of a lot of my videos, and it's used as the thumbnail. And on TikTok, it'll allow you to go to a point in your video and say, this is your thumbnail. You could do that with Reels as well, but you can also create your own thumbnail, which is pretty exciting, on Facebook and Instagram. It's important so that people can find what they're looking for if they happen to go to your page. And if people see a video and they don't know who you are, and they're interested and they go to your page, that is another algorithm booster. So if you can get them to your page, it's a good thing, because then the algorithm's like, oh, okay, and especially if they follow after that. So having these titles will help people navigate for anything that they're looking for. So a lot of people, I don't know if you've ever seen videos where there's an exciting thing in the very beginning, and then they show the build-up to that exciting moment. It's genius, and it still works. If you have anything exciting, anything that will make them curious, they will go all the way to the end, and that's what you want. You want that loop. And this is one thing that I do all the time, and I use my bird videos to do it.
8. If you have a place in your yard that's sun-baked and nothing grows there, try this plant out. It's called humming.
So, kind of confusing, but let me show you how I did it, and maybe it'll make more sense. So what I'm doing is cutting my last video and putting it in the beginning. And these TikTok and...
If you have a place in your yard that's sun-baked and nothing grows there, try this plant out. It's called...
So did you get that? Try this. I mean, I could have put a lot more in the front, but having that try this out, it created a full loop. Not only just a visual loop, where the bird continues. People get confused that way. They think the video is continuing when they actually got down to the end of it. And there's your full completion. A lot of people do this, but not so much visually, but with starting out, having the ending be the beginning with text, with your words. Everyone, is it making sense to everybody?
Yeah.
Is it doing all right? Okay. So this is something, once you've been on social media for a while, you're going to notice the same question over and over again. And it's, especially on Facebook, and a lot of times it has to do with product. Like, what is that? What is that product? And so I used to not intentionally leave information out, because I would just space out when I'm doing it and just edit it and then post it. And I'd be missing a big chunk of like, oops. And that started these comments. And as you saw earlier, comments are an algorithm booster. So if you're missing something, what? And it happens all the time with products, especially. If there's an interesting, and you're not selling it necessarily, but you're like, what is that? I'm missing something here. So yes, I intentionally leave things out, especially with the product. And the thing about that is, and I'm going to talk about earlier or later, is if you do this, get ready to be a full-time comment person, and you don't get paid, which we don't really get paid a lot anyway. but it is a lot of work, especially on Facebook, because they don't read the comments for whatever reason. I don't know if it's just hard for them to read. Reels is kind of new over there. Over and over, where did you get that product? Or tell me, and I do little things like that too. If you want to know more about how to deter squirrels from getting into your bird feeder, let me know. So there's another thing. It's a little comment. Tell me in the comments sort of thing, but not saying tell me in the comments.
This year I'm trying Kapok fibers.
Oh boy, especially on Facebook. It's K-pop. It's K-pop. Over and over and over these comments. And this video got boosted from those comments. There's a lot of people who do they misspell word. And all of those people who want to correct you, they come out and they will tell you.
And they're helping you by doing that.
And they're helping. And that's the thing. It's like if you're getting trolled at a certain, the first troll I got because I was on TikTok in 2020 was, you look like Carol Baskin. And I just, was so upset by that I deleted the comment. I was just like mortified. I was brand new. I didn't know. Now I can care less what anybody says. Beautiful. It's a beautiful transition if you're allowing yourself to look at these trolls and be like, thank you, and that has to do with you and not me, and thank you. And then once you get a following, people will defend you. More and more comments and more your video will go out to people who don't know who you are. I'm just going to touch on a few things that you shouldn't do. Going against community guidelines, that's kind of a given. And there's a lot of them. So check them out before you post anything controversial. So this is one that I did, and I got a sensitive content warning. It was a bird pooping. That's it. That's the only one that I was so bad posting that, according to the algorithm.
Does that ding you just for that post, or does it ding your whole account?
That dinged my post.
Okay.
That was an old one, sensitive content now, or if it's dangerous, if you're driving and you're talking, that's considered dangerous, and it will slow your video down. It will have a little, I'm talking TikTok, I'm not sure about everywhere else, but TikTok, this is dangerous. And it will get a little flag, so don't drive. And I did that, I was driving like 5 miles an hour on a live on TikTok, and they turned it off. So one thing I'll be talking about later is cross posting. So taking the same video and putting it on other platforms. This is one thing that some people do. They film everything in TikTok and then they post it on Instagram. And you can download your own video, but it will create a watermark.
3, 2, 1, 0. All engine running. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Anyway, didn't mean to have that on there. As you can see here, TikTok, if you put that onto Instagram, they already know, and AI will completely bash it and not allow it to go out to anybody. There are apps that you can download it through that app, and it won't have that watermark, but it will still say the app's name in that file name. I don't know if that does anything. So it's best to, I do not edit on TikTok or Instagram or anything like that. I edit in Premiere. So I always have that file and I can just, I saw a video on, are they looking at the metadata? And when it comes to, is it looking at the file name? And the file name might be important. So what I do is I put the full SEO in my file name. or viral or educational. The apps love education. Don't know if it does anything, but I'm willing to do anything to get views.
So basically, you don't want to your post on Facebook or Instagram to be like marked TikTok.
Exactly. And vice versa, because Reels does it as well. So if you filmed on Reels app, which you can,
Yeah.
you can edit on Reels app, it will put their mark on it. And if you put it on TikTok, gone. Not that your video will be gone, but you won't get the interaction that you're looking for. So don't mention links, and I talk to brands. It's really sad, especially on TikTok. Facebook's okay with links for whatever reason, but TikTok, you take anybody off of this, because what they want is they want people to watch all the time. They want people swiping. They just want them on their app. And by putting an outside link, and that's where the TikTok store came from, because people were linking to Amazon and outside of the app. So they created their own store that has knockoffs of everything you could think of. And people are selling like crazy, and TikTok will boost those posts. I'm not doing it. I'm not selling my soul for TikTok. But a lot of people make money. But don't have. So when I did a brand deal, they wanted it to go to their, they want some metrics. How did this do? Are people wanting this product? And I said, I'm not putting a link. So I don't know how it did, but the videos did great. For a 1.5 minute squirrel buster video on Instagram was like 30,000 views, which to me that's really big, but maybe it isn't. And so many questions, because I left some things out. Call to action, a lot of people still do it, but I've heard that if you're saying, give me a like, give me a follow, I'll follow you back, that's another one don't ever do. Follow me, I'll follow you. That will slow your reach. Link in bio is another one, because when you have a link, it's outside of the app. Good so far? So here I'm going to talk about how to get your video to loop without people even seeing it. If they go into your comment section, that video is looping in the background. And putting time into putting time into this part right here. So this is your captions. Sorry, but I went off to a different place. You're going to want to concentrate a lot on this text right here. It doesn't have to be the full thing, but you have 9 words to get somebody to say more. And now these apps, used to be you couldn't even write anything. TikTok, and all of them, you can write a full 2 paragraphs or even more. And if you could get them to go more, your video is scrolling in the background as they read. So you want them to click that. Just have something that stands out. It might not even have anything to do with the video. Just something that's, what is she talking about? They read it. Circulation. The comment section, again, it's going to rotate in the background. So your video is playing, unless they stop it, which most often they don't, as they're writing their comments. Some people don't like to write the first comment, so I always write my own, and it's interactive. This isn't the best example, but it shouldn't be a yes or no question. Ask a question and just ask something to get them to comment. A lot of people don't do that, so right after you post, boom, write a comment. example. This is how you write your comment. So the question is, so if people are responding to your comment or commenting, should you respond in that first hour or that first day? Should you respond back? The answer is yes most of the time. People who go to your comment section will know, oh, if I say something, maybe she'll tell me the answer. And it's a safe, maybe for most people, it's a safe feeling that they can talk to this person that they see, and that person will answer them. But if it has those repeat questions over and over again, especially that first day, where did you get that? Where did you purchase that? How can I find that? I do not answer those questions for like 2 days. Because they'll get the answer. So more and more people will be like, where is that? And more and more comments. And then I'll just take some time while I'm doing some Netflix and answer them. I have all my notes are copy paste for all of these continuous same questions. So there are some things on Instagram and TikTok, and that is reply with a video. It's cool. It creates even more interaction. It answers somebody's question with a video. And it does boost your algorithm to do that. It's keeping them on the platform. But there is a timing thing that a lot of experts say, if you have a viral video, just reply to a bunch of comments so that people stay on your page. And I've never done it that way. I don't see it as working because I want that initial video to do well. If someone goes to the comments and they click another, and they click out of that one video, it decreases the engagement of that one video. So if it's doing well, hold off. That's just my suggestion. Other people are going to say differently. But I want that rotation. Any questions?
I have a question. Can we go back to the question about links?
Mm-hmm.
So you don't put links in the bio either?
I have one link in bio, but I don't say link in bio.
Oh, okay. So you can have like a link tree,
Yeah,
but you don't say it in the video like link in bio. They just have to go find it.
yeah.
Okay.
How do they find the link then if it's not in the bio?
You could put it in, well,
No, it is in the bio, right?
well, yes. If you're let's say you're doing a brand deal, and they require you to have on your when they go to your profile, and they see that link, it's a link tree that has a bunch of different links in it. Then that's fine to have that there, but it is the wording, the link in bio, that you kind of have to sneak around. Or you put it in the comments. Check out my, you just have to be kind of secretive with that link in bio thing. Does that answer?
Yeah, sort of. Could you put links in like response comments? Like so, if you're responding to a comment, can you put a link in that?
That's what I'm saying not to do.
Not to do that. Okay.
So I have this whole, like, answering these products, oh, you can find it at a birding store.
And that's because you don't want people to go away from your video? Oh, okay. Okay.
It's a game.
I have a question
Yeah.
about the hashtags. Is it still working?
Hashtags vary from app to app. Because TikTok is so AI based now, I mean, it's the SEO is what you're saying. They will make a whole transcript of what you're saying for SEO. And if you do captions, which I'll talk about later, if you create your own captions, they're looking at that too. So SEO is already seeing what you're doing and what your content needs to get that SEO. It needs to have that information for it to go out to the correct people. who would like your content. Hashtags, they vary. I still use them, but sometimes I use my own that no one's ever used before, and they're mine. So I use my name a lot. Having my name with an underscore in my last name shows up on Google, which is cool. And that's not something that's in my video. Oh, this is Allison Cutler. It's not that. Having your business name always is another hashtag. Because that way, if someone goes to that hashtag, it's you. Go ahead.
Is Instagram penalizing hashtags, or are they AI driven too, or are they changing their hashtag?
Yeah, they're definitely changing. People used to just put 20 hashtags, just a hope that it'll go to somebody. And this is the same with TikTok. It needs to go to specific people. Don't confuse the algorithm, because the algorithm has changed. It used to be, okay, I'll just put it in here and here, but now it's getting more precise. So you don't need as many hashtags.
So you're saying AI, Instagram is AI driven, where they can tell what your image is about without you saying cookies?
I don't know about image.
Whatever.
I think Instagram's behind, and that's one thing I didn't bring up. Is Instagram and Facebook are 2 years. They're catching up, but they're behind TikTok and all of this.
So if you have like a food, it's not at a point where it knows what you're eating. You have to put food porn or something.
I'm not sure about that. You could. I mean, it's up to you, but I don't say FYP, for you page, but don't put hashtag viral. Don't do these ones that have billions of people using it.
Yeah, I'm just thinking, like, in terms of that, I know sometimes I'll search for a hashtag, but then there's like videos that aren't really that. And so if then like I scroll through them faster, right? And that brings down your like score kind of, right?
Yeah.
If people are just
nope, yep.
So if people who aren't interested in your video are finding it through a bad hashtag, that's like ultimately gonna ding you, right?
It could. It really depends on the video and if it's doing well. It's going to create enough curiosity. Go ahead.
What is SEO?
Oh, search engine optimization. I can't believe I said that. Optimization. It is what the internet uses to find things. And it's used a lot for websites, that you optimize your website so that when someone does a search, they'll be able to find it. The beauty of TikTok is its own SEO. So if you want to go and find a restaurant in a new area, go to TikTok. I'm telling you, you're going to get the most updated.
I have another question around that. So if you are a person who is maybe not necessarily selling anything, you're just creating videos, you don't have a website, I mean, do you recommend people have a website that people go back to learn more or view your embedded YouTube videos? Or like, do you feel like you have to have a website in order to go viral on social and have success?
I don't think that having a website does anything to get you to go viral on social.
Oh, and I meant like more in regards to like the SEO. Because Google likes it when you have a website URL.
I think that as far as being a professional, having a website is great because then people can find you if they're looking for you. But as far as having it on your, your profile, I think is important. But I don't think that that is affecting the SEO. Let's keep moving on. So replying with comments, strategy. I already talked about this. Let's talk, because I'm going to be getting back probably to some of your questions because it's a long presentation. So a lot of people, when they're reposting, meaning they're taking their video and putting it on Instagram, they're putting it on YouTube Shorts, TikTok, and a lot of them, and this has happened with brand deals all the time because I follow, a lot of these people are people that I follow on multiple channels, and I see them. They put it on YouTube, they put it on, and because I'm a professional scroller, especially really late at night, I am affecting their algorithm because I've already seen it on TikTok. So on Instagram, I'd be like, boop, buy stats. So by posting at different times, and this is what I do all the time, and after a while you're going to learn, okay, on Facebook it works great to do this and Sundays are a good time, by the way. Sunday evenings on Facebook. Don't know why, maybe more and more people are on it. But for me, either it's like a superstition kind of thing, okay, I'm going to post it at 7 on Thursday, but it works. So find what works. If video did well at that time, just try it again and see what happens. But don't put up that same video on every single platform, especially if you're doing brand deals. I just don't think it makes sense. Even all the brands would be like, put it on at 5 o'clock this time. And I put my foot down a lot of times because I've been doing this for so long. Just wait, because a lot of your audience is the same on different platforms. Does that make sense? This 1 month later, and that 1 month later here is because of TikTok. I am on the Creator Fund. TikTok does not, and maybe it knows, maybe it doesn't, but I think it does know. If you post the same day and you're on the Creator Fund of TikTok, it will slow your video down and you won't get paid. So whatever you're getting paid on, make that your priority platform. Because they know. And so what I do, and because I get paid the most on TikTok, strange enough, but I don't care about TikTok. I want Instagram. I want the followers on Instagram. I want Facebook. Because who knows what's going to happen with TikTok. So my TikTok is my testing ground. How did the video do? So if you're posting your video on everything, you're not going to know, oh, there's a typo, shoot, there's a typo, or whatever. Posting it on one, see how it does. People are going to tell you what's wrong with it. Go back in and edit it. So I edit it for Instagram differently and for Facebook differently sometimes. It's a lot of work. Okay, this is all about appeasing the robot. I'm going to give you these little tricks. Appeasing the robot, meaning what does the app want at that time? And I have a slide coming up after this that tells you that there's people that study TikTok or they study Instagram, and they'll tell you this is what's happening right now. If you use this song, it might go viral, which I don't think it really usually does, but try to find those people who know what's happening with that app right at that moment and try out some of the things that the app wants. I cross out stories here on TikTok. Stories do great on Instagram. For whatever reason, it also posts on Facebook. The same story, which is convenient. But I don't like it on TikTok because people are not going to my profile. It's not its own separate thing. They click on your profile and it's a story, and they don't get to the meat. So I don't recommend stories on TikTok.
So can we put 60 minutes video on TikTok?
Yes, if you have the version of the app that has it. So everyone here probably has a different version of TikTok right now. And they're testing it out we're test subjects. So some people will get the 60 minutes. I've got 30 minutes now.
Oh, I only have 10. Now I'm sad.
And that is the same with a bunch of different features.
So do you have to uninstall it to get a new?
No, it's you're in some sort of algorithm. This is what this person's getting, and this is what this person's getting. I don't know if that has to do with followers. I don't know. And a lot of these experts are like, now there's going to be, when you put photos on, TikTok will reward you for that. And this was 3 months ago. But some people might not have had that option. But live streaming, I think, is a great way to get exposure. And here is, I don't know if you want to take a picture, but this is going to be on WIFM Co's website if you want to go back to it. But this is all of the people I follow to find out the latest. And I don't have Instagram creators. It's on TikTok too. Just follow some of these people to know what's happening on the app and try to play around with it. If you do what the app says, you may be rewarded.
Instagram now lets you comment on stories. TikTok lets you re-edit a posted video, and Snap may be getting a redesign. Here's what's new this week in social media. I do this every week, so hit that follow button.
He's doing that, hit that follow button. He's got 20,000 followers and it's been there for a year. Don't do that. Okay. He's great. I love him. He's up to date on everything. So I'd follow Professor Snyder. So when you go live on TikTok, and this may be changing, if you have a video that's doing really well, go live instantly. Just go live right then. Because this is TikTok. TikTok will boost your video to new people. There's so much yucky lives now lately that this is changing. Something's changing. Where there's like ASMR. There's weird stuff on lives now. So if you have a cool, fun live, I think you probably will stand out. And having interaction in that live will boost your video that you just posted. TikTok really loves people going streaming. They love it. Because they want community. Because community means staying on the app. The nice thing about doing a live on Reels, and this is one of them, I was just on my kayak doing a live, is I can take that whole, it asks you, do you want to put this on your page? Yes, so people can look at your lives later. I think that's pretty neat. One thing that comes up, I don't know if you've heard of Meta Verified, but it's where you can buy your badge. And I have bought my badge. And I did this on Instagram maybe a year ago, and it boosted so much. The beauty of having this, and I'm not trying to sell it or anything, is if you get to a certain point and you have this great account, you don't want anyone to steal it, because people lose their accounts all the time and they can never get them back. And so this is an insurance plan. But it also, when you're commenting on other people's posts, people they'll go to your profile. Oh, she's got the badge. Because not everybody has this. I just signed up for Facebook and it's done nothing. No boost of followers. So I might give it a month and then take it off. But it's $15 per month. It was worth it on Instagram for me.
I've had some friends and clients that are verified. One of my clients has like almost 400,000, and she is verified, and she had trouble getting her account back. So I wasn't sure if you had heard that before. I think she ended up contacting someone actually at Facebook, but I guess that's my hang up with doing it, is I've heard like both things.
I think it's more important on Facebook. I've heard the same thing on Instagram.
It was on Instagram.
Was it? Yeah, it was on Instagram.
Yeah.
But she ended up getting it back at some point.
She did. It was gone and her whole business is on Instagram. But I think she somehow she posted on her personal account and said, does anybody have any connections at Facebook or Instagram? And I think it worked out that way.
Okay.
So
it's good to know. Supposedly this helps.
Okay.
More so than not having anything. Collaborating with other content creators is fun, and you get to gain their audience, which this guy named Nelson, have you seen him before?
Today we're going birding.
It's a beautiful place to go birding because there's so many little different habitats.
She can see birds that the binoculars can't even see.
This is a spotted toad. So this boosted my account with his followers. He's an outdoor creator, so maybe get with somebody who's sort of similar to you and get likes and views and things like that from different people that way. It was really fun. It feels like, to me, that's true community. That is being with people in your area and doing something different. So ultimately, what I've been showing you this whole time is a form of people pleasing in a way. And it can drive you nuts trying to figure out every little, I'm gonna do this and this and this, and it's a guessing game. And the algorithm wants you to stay on their platform, so if one video does shitty, the algorithm might have done that on purpose. So you can only do so much, is what I'm trying to say here. The algorithm wants you, if it does bad, to post another one. Oh, I need to post another one. And so it really doesn't have anything to do with your video, and taking it personally, even though it's hard, isn't the best way to go. So stick with what you love. Grab that soul purpose, that soul, whatever makes you the most happy, and talk about it. I think people will resonate with you, and that's it. Thank you very much. I can answer any questions. I know that I'm out of today. Did you get anything out of it?
Yeah, a lot.
Okay. Erica.
So what about posting the same video over and over and over, maybe with different times of day? But what's your experience with maybe doing that?
I don't have a lot of experience doing that. I don't have a lot of experience posting, especially within the same month or even the same day. I don't think that doing that the same day, I don't know what it does with the algorithm, but I don't think it would be the best thing, but I'm not sure. With that metadata thing, I don't know if that's true. Do they see the date of that video? Because I've posted stuff and I've been doing it. I'm reposting on Reels right now, things I did in TikTok 4 years ago, and it has the original 2021 date, and they're doing great. So I think reposting is and also I'm reposting the things that have already been on Instagram, and they're doing great. But will I get paid? I don't know yet.
I had heard once too that at least with ads, if you're buying ads, you can do like the same ad except change like the color of the background of the slate at the end or whatever, and see just which one makes it through. So have you ever done
I think it's
anything
worth
like that?
I think it's worth a shot. See what happens. I'm gonna get the woman in the back.
How can you use this to promote a short film that you've done? Get more interest in the film for fundraising?
Well, it's all about the editing. It's a trailer, but it's a little bit different. It's for the people who have no attention span. So that first second, you only have a second. It used to be 3 seconds where people will swipe or they won't, but now it's a second. So whatever that first clip is, it's got to be the most exciting clip, or something that will drag them in. So that editing is really important to keep the attention on the video, for it to go out to more people. That's ultimately what you want. As far as funding for your project, I don't know how that would work. I don't think viewers are your target audience. But if your video does well, that's bragging rights. And that's probably your goal, is to get those bragging rights to say, hey, and go to the investors or whoever else you need to go to. Look, people are interested. Did that answer you?
Mm-hmm. Okay, thank you.
Well, me?
Yeah.
I just like sharing my stuff. This is not a business or anything, and I find myself really, really turned off by social media, because I kind of just want to post when I want to post, but there's rules of when you post. There's so many rules and changing rules that I just like, oh my God, I just won't post it all. But my real question is, the way I love to post is actually, because I have just a shit ton of videos, I like to do it on my computer, but I have this fear that Instagram will penalize me going between my phone and my computer, because sometimes they'll ban me for no reason because they think I'm in another country because I'm going through different devices. And so there's all this guessing game of mind reading this freaking computer algorithm, and I'm just so frustrated that I don't want to do anything at all, but I just want to share my stuff. So is it bad to be going between phone and computer, or preferring computer to post?
There is that aspect of staying on the app.
Really?
And if you edit in the app, you might be rewarded. And I'm going to say might be rewarded for doing that because you're in the app. There are a lot of people who say not that editing in Premiere will affect your video. It hasn't affected mine. Ultimately, it is that first second. It is the quality of what you're saying. Are you putting pauses in? Are you saying like all the time? Are you saying, hi, I am Dr. Fieldsing, and I am a neurologist in the middle of your post? Like, there's things that you don't do at all because that is a swipe. So getting your sole purpose out there is the most important thing, and then letting the algorithm, screw the algorithm.
So you post from the computer?
I do.
Wow, okay. Good to know.
Well, what I do is I post, I save it, and I'm on a Mac, and I save it to my phone. I do an AirDrop, save it to my phone, then I post it straight onto.
Oh, you post it from your app?
I post it from the app.
But you edit in the computer, but you never post through the website, because you can't post on the website.
Oh yeah, I don't do that.
Why is that?
I don't know how to.
You don't know how to? Oh, that's
Nah.
the only reason? Oh.
I like having that control.
Okay.
Ooh.
So like sometimes if there's an interesting hook, but then they go into the story and it's like moving kind of slow, but I do want to find out what happens, I like skip through to the end. Does that affect someone's stats?
I don't know 100% on that. I do it all the time. On TikTok, you can just press the side right above the profile and go 2 times. That's what the world's coming to, unfortunately. No time for this. I think it's still good because you're still in the app and you're getting to the end. I don't know if it affects it that much.
I have a question about how much money people can make, like, and when you can start to join Creative Fund. So, in your experience, what's kind of the average length of time and the average amount of followers that it starts to become noticeable that you can actually make some good amount of money posting your own content, not getting a sponsorship or something like that, but I've heard stories of people with 150,000 followers are making $3, and I'm just more curious, how do you really build it to be lucrative?
Doing what the app wants, number one. Like for me, I switched from short form to long form for TikTok, and that's how I made my money right then.
And do they decide how much to pay you? Like, do they say, oh, now
yeah.
you're going to get this much money?
You can look at your analytics on TikTok, and it's really insightful, and it's sad. And I don't do it often because most people are a swipe the first second. So my 1.6 million that I just had views only had like about 350,000, which isn't bad, but they're qualifying views. So if it goes for 5 seconds, it qualifies for that money.
How long does it take you to get qualified to be part of the Creator Fund? Or can
That's something that changes all the time. I think you have to have a certain amount of followers, that interaction, and you'll be invited. I think, you get these notifications. Do you want to do this program? I did it so long ago. I was in the beta one, which was the best. I don't post that often, but I was making $4,000 a month on 3 videos. Nothing. I put a lot of work into those videos, but now it's changed. For the same amount of views, I get about 500. Sad. So I think doing this is more for self-promotion. If you want to do something else in your life, use this as your, and it's a lot of work. It's that soul passion project. And you gotta think of it like that. It will promote you later. So what I wanna do is speak at birding festivals. Get paid to go birding. That's my retirement plan. And so look at all the social people, look at all, and so I can, market to these festivals. Look at how many followers I have that have no idea about you, because that's really what I'm doing. Is I'm grabbing these, 13 to 30. A lot of, strange enough, these people who have no idea about birding, and these festivals are used to 65 to 80-year-olds. So I've got something to give, and I think if that's what this whole thing is about. I love the expression, I love being able to create and educate. So that soul passion is weaving in this whole thing. I didn't know I was going to get paid like this. Done.
If you have a short form video that you want to promote, would you recommend like splitting it up into even shorter pieces to, kind of curtail to the attention spans that like people just swiping past things if you're not getting into the meat and potatoes quick enough, or like what would you kind of recommend for
So if you have a long video and you want to put it on the short form, editing it to the apps, like for TikTok, you don't get paid until you do a minute or longer.
Oh.
So based upon what the app wants. But there was at one point I did this video and it did really well, but it was 8 minutes long and it's not going to get that loop. As, people are going to swipe or they're going to save it and they never look at it again, which is fine. So what I ended up doing on the last one that has the 1.6 million, that first one, part 1, part 2, part 3, part 4, part 5. But having that intro of those in each part is really important. You can't just have it be starting just out of nowhere. So I would have an opening to say what's going on, as if it's the brand new, as if it's part 1. But I think if you already have videos, start chopping them and see what happens. Have that title, just so that people, if they are interested, they could go part 1, part 2, and they could just scroll up on your page.
For Instagram, do you feel like it's because it sounds like TikTok you almost want longer videos, but for Instagram, would you recommend like doing less than 60-second video clips?
Yes.
Or okay.
25 to 30 seconds on Instagram and Facebook right now.
Okay.
But if it's a big long part, you don't want like 15 parts. But I think because they're behind, those short forms are still doing well, and that will help the loop. But I do long videos. I do 1.5 minutes on Reels, and they still do okay. It just depends on your audience and if you have an audience to start with. Oh, let's talk about analytics on TikTok. All my viral videos, 1% are my followers who see it. So really, follower count means nothing. It's ultimately getting out into the world and having that video have so much algorithm power that it will go out to new people that might follow you and never see you again. Yeah, it's pretty nutty. People can, if they follow you, like I go to specific people if I want to see what they're doing, but that's kind of rare.
Okay. It's kind of a complicated question, but if you were to start over on each one of the platforms, what would be your top tips? And the reason I ask is because I'm only on Instagram, really. I mean, I have a Facebook, but I have never done TikTok before. I don't even have the app.
So I've never done what?
TikTok.
Don't do it. That's my suggestion. Okay. It's very addictive.
Yeah.
Whether you're a creator or not, it can take you away from your creation. So it's nice that I started on TikTok. I learned all of this stuff, but the attention span is almost gone in my brain. So what was your question?
Okay, so we're gonna start over on each one of the platforms. What are your top tips for each one of them? Starting with your favorite platform.
Well, I think Instagram has the most clout, but Facebook has my audience, the 50 to 80-year-old women who will end up coming to my festival or whatever. So your target audience should be maybe part of that. But Instagram has a bigger audience, and I want to reach those people. So that is my number one app that I try to do really well on. And answering those comments is just huge. I'm still trying to remember your question.
Oh, just your top tips if you were to start from like ground zero.
Just expect it to not do well. No, really. And not think that it's you. It takes that one video to go viral, and then all of a sudden you get all these followers. But are those followers going to stay with you, or are they loyal to you? So if you see a bunch of people that have all these followers, it might have just been from one video, and they know nothing else about it. You want those loyal followers. You want those people who comment all the time, and you want that interaction with those loyal ones, and then you'll get more and more and more. But Instagram, yeah, I mean, again, I don't expect anything. Just do it for fun. But keep in mind all these little things that are going to cause the swipe, because it's across the board.
Nice, thank you.
Can I table on that? And if you already have channels that have different names, do you recommend we have to go in and like delete our social media and start over again, like, or
You can
rename.
change
the name.
Change the
Okay.
name. Whatever your most popular one is, if it's on Instagram, whatever's doing the best, I would keep that name.
Okay.
But whatever you want to do, I would just have it across the board. Because people want to find you in different, like especially YouTube, if it doesn't match.
Yeah.
Because people will go to YouTube to find you.
So, do you promote for your upcoming videos, or you just post them?
Say that again?
Do you promote for your upcoming videos?
I don't promote for my upcoming videos. I do promote when the video is up on stories. So I'll have a whole little video saying, hey, this is on here now. Because those followers that won't probably ever see that will see my story and go to that video. And you can even have a little link that goes to your video. As far as trying to figure out ideas and things like that, I know this is off topic. But I used to just go out and film whatever, and it would take forever. So scripting, or at least bullet pointing, will help you get that idea that makes a lot more sense, instead of taking hours and hours to edit through this crap. So I have a teleprompter now, and I can tell that I have a teleprompter, and I'm going to try to change that. You know, I can tell that I'm reading here and there, but I put B-roll over it. But I think having something that will help you along to get that idea is important.
So you don't put story like, hey, I'm gonna post a video next week or something like that?
No, because there's no attention span.
Yeah, like those people who say, I'm going to go live next Tuesday at 7 p.m.
No. On TikTok, if you do that, I see that all the time. I'm live now.
Yeah.
And those work pretty well, because that live is promoting your recent video. Yeah.
Going back to your audience and what you said about like the women, the like 58-year-old women or whatever, how did you determine that? Was that from analytics? And since I'm assuming there's not a huge volume of those women on TikTok, like how does the makeup differ of your audience? The makeup of your audience differ?
So it's pretty similar. My audience demographics, it's pretty similar on Facebook and Reels. It's these older people, and it's women, which is fantastic. I don't feel alone as this old lady on on social media. Not that I'm old, but you know, it's just having this camaraderie of your people. They are a little more clueless on Facebook, which is fine. It creates more comments, but there's a lot of just on TikTok. I have from, and I think I said this, 13 to 90-year-olds. So there are old people on TikTok, but just not as much. And there's a lot of smart people on TikTok. That's the thing. People think that it's dancing. You know, they still do. After 5 years, oh, it's just dancing. So there's not a lot of credit from a lot of people's point of view who aren't on it. But during the pandemic, and even still, there was doctors who were sharing their information. And it was, to me, an evolutionary upgrade. Not so much now. It's kind of sad. Seeing every single news thing, and TikTok is becoming that. As far as my algorithm, whatever you like, whoever you follow, you're going to get more of that. Or if you even watch a video for 5 minutes, so let's say it's all the flooding, you're going to get 1 million flooding videos. The algorithm is pretty smart. I'm going off on different things. I'm tired. But hopefully it makes sense. Good.
Is there a benefit to commenting a lot on other people's profiles and posts?
There is, because that's that sense of community. And especially if you're the first one, and it's really, you know it's going to be a viral video, your comment's going to go viral. If it's a good one. So when you're in that situation, what should I say? This should be funny. Something. And if people like that, they may end up going to your page. And that's where that verified is kind of special. It's like, oh, who is that?
Oh, I have a weird question. So like
Sure.
if somebody were to take your, like, you know how some people will take like a sound clip from your video and then your sound clip goes viral? Do you get paid for that?
I used to know that answer. I think you do. At least on TikTok, you used to be able to. I don't know about the other apps. This was 3 years ago that, yes, but I don't know about now. I don't really use, for me, it's not, I used to try to do these trends, these little sound clip or even music trends, and it wasn't really for my soul, it was for the people pleasing, and it was really easy, which is great. So many people, just easy, and some of them go viral. But is that really you that you want to portray? So I don't do a lot of those viral trends. And then on TikTok, it's called CapCut, where there's the green screen behind a lot of famous people, and then people do text, funny text, and sometimes they go viral. I've done one of those. I just don't get. Oh, and let's talk about music, shall we? Don't use music on any platform.
Why?
Because it will get muted at some point or another.
What do you mean?
The music will get muted. And so what happened with TikTok is, what was it? It was the biggest music company. Was it BMI?
Yeah.
It was a bunch of, they're like, you can't use our song. So all these dancers who are doing Taylor Swift and whoever else, all of their videos no longer have music. I did music. I tried to do these viral music trends while I'm talking, so you can make the sound a lot less in the app of the music, so your voice is still there. Everything got muted. So my voice, don't delete those videos. I made the mistake of doing that. If they get muted, just leave them there.
But you can use the app's music, right? The music you get to add.
Right, that was the problem.
Those you can use?
Yeah, you can use them, but don't use them.
Oh, that's the music you're talking about.
In the app.
What? Instagram always lets you add music all the time.
And then you're gonna see no longer available.
What? I thought those music...
There's copyrights.
But I thought their list of music was already approved.
No.
It might be at that moment, but it doesn't mean it will be in the future.
So you're saying all the music we've been using for our little collages or whatever, montages, that they let you add might end up you being banned or muted?
Muted.
Oh my gosh.
So the video will stay there, but then it'll be muted. And the thing about TikTok now is pretty nice, which they've done, is you can change the music, and they save a copy of your original video. I don't know how they do it, but they save your voice. So you can change the music, which is nice. That's a nice feature. But by deleting that video that's muted, which I did, I'll just repost it, I lost my stats. I lost my likes, my overall likes. It also tells when you delete videos, you're like, oh, it's not doing well. Let's say after a month, you're like, oh, I'm going to delete it. It tells the algorithm that you're not confident, and it might affect your future videos. So don't delete them, just leave them. It's embarrassing, some of my old stuff. Oh my God.
Are you sure the algorithm is responding to deleted videos? Are you sure?
It's been said for the past 5 years by the experts.
On all platforms, including Instagram?
Yes, Instagram is a copy of TikTok.
Oh.
Two years ago, which is beautiful. So I'm giving you all this TikTok knowledge. Put it on Instagram and see if it works, because it might not work in the future.
You said to not park your name, but to grab all the branding of the different platforms. But I noticed that you're concentrating on 3. Now there's others, of course, out there that nobody in this room is even talking about. But basically, do you pick the platform that you resonate with, or the platform that's right for your content? Because you're not on Pinterest, and you're not on Tumblr, and you're not on other platforms.
Well, I've tried them.
Oh, you have? Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying every app that comes out. Heck yeah. I could repost some oldies on there. See how it does.
But do you spread yourself thin by trying to hit all of them? In terms of
Well,
time?
I spread myself thin anyway. It doesn't matter.
Really?
It's all about an experiment. And if you're early, especially those new apps that come out, there's some new ones like Lemonade. I don't know who that is. Anytime I see people talking about new apps, I download it to see what it's about. And then I sign up for it, even if I don't use it or not. I have my name in there. But I don't think it hurts, because they might be the next big thing, especially with Gen Z. And I want to educate the Gen Z. For me, that's my sole passion, is to save the birds of the world. That's one of my things. So if I can grab these little ones.
So you don't do Snapchat?
No. It's not necessarily, that's more of a friends thing.
Yeah.
As far as I know. Go ahead.
What about sound on YouTube?
I think it's still risky, because you just don't know what's going to happen. I don't know how. I don't use YouTube a lot. They don't give me enough engagement for me to make it interesting. Even though I'm supposedly going to get paid, I never get paid. So I don't know how YouTube works. But I don't know. I would just either even if you buy a license for music, like what is it, audio? What's it called?
Blocks.
Audio blocks. I don't know. Will the license be up on that one? But the nice thing is, if you are doing those dances, not that we're doing those dances, but if you are doing those things, I think even Instagram and Reels allows you to replace the music now. But when that first started, scary.
Okay, if you had a great video that wasn't doing well, but you wanted it to do well, what would you do? You spent a good amount of time on it, and you want people to see it, but it's been maybe like a week or so, or more.
Well, there are the analytics that you can look at to see where they dropped off,
Mm-hmm.
and re-edit it.
Re-edit it and repost it maybe with like a different cover or a different hook or something. Okay.
Yeah, I would try it out on different platforms at if you could figure out the ideal times.
Sure.
The non-ideal times is Friday and Saturday. Never post on those days. I just can't believe I said never, because I told myself I'd never say never. But those are the days that the apps want the people on there as long as they can, and they will put those 15 million view ones out there or more. and you'll see more, which is great. For me, being an addict of that, like, all these funny cats, and so those will be on Friday, Saturday. And so you're not getting your video in between all of these virals is just impossible. That Sunday evening seems to be working pretty well. Same goes with Thursday. Monday's not so much, but that's just what I've experienced. I have no idea.
And do you post right after you post on your feed? Are you posting to your story, specifically Instagram, or are you waiting?
Yeah, so I will create another video or a little short of what I'm just talking about, or I will create a photo type thing. Right after I post, I will say it's on here, and I will continue with different little videos throughout the week promoting it, because not everybody's on Instagram every day like me. So just promote your things, your latest video, doing that. I think it works pretty well.
Thank you.
I love those, those are great.
How important do you think it is to like curate your overall feed compared to, you know, just thinking about the posts as like one-offs going into the ether?
Yeah, there's that whole word called niche, whatever. I think it's very important to find that soul passion and really concentrate on that.